For this project, we based our process on the Design Council's double diamond methodology. The reason we chose this approach is that it conveys the design process to designers and non-designers alike. The two diamonds represent a process of exploring and researching a problem more deeply and then coming up with a way to solve it by taking focused action. Starting out, we wanted to spend as much time as we could on understanding the domain so that we could accurately identify what the problem was that we were trying to solve. It was important to us to understand who our stakeholders will rely on and figure out how they relate to each other. Healthcare professionals are super busy and we wanted to be sure we were talking to the right people. We were mindful that we didn't want to waste our participants' time by duplicating our research. We wanted to consider as many perspectives as possible, not just our own. We approached this project with a flexible and experimental mindset, updating and changing our approach as we gained new insights and validate our assumptions.
The NHS requires a compliance culture to ensure consistent standards for care and treatment. Healthcare professionals are expected to consider and deploy hundreds of different local and national guidelines, procedures, and compliance assurance programs. One of the key drivers of this project was to gain a deep understanding of who our users were and how, when, and why to assess the guidelines. We spoke to over 50 people who were directly and indirectly affected by the guidelines. The most difficult part of this process was identifying who to prioritize and come up with a group of core users to focus our initial design on.
We conducted a series of ethnographic and user research sessions to collect insights. Each method we chose was tailored to the context of group or individual we were talking to. We ran a co-creative workshop with specialist staff at Norwich and Norfolk University Hospital to map out the journey of a person with diabetes who'd been admitted with specific DKA. We ran a group discussion with specialist staff from King's College Hospital to find out how they use the guidelines on a day-to-day basis. We ran in-depth interviews both remotely and face-to-face, with a broad range of healthcare professionals from medical school students to specialists, people living with diabetes and diabetes charities. We attended an event and a conference for healthcare professionals where we heard from people both with type 1 and type 2 diabetes about the challenges they face when it comes to managing their care. Lastly, we were lucky to spend 2 days shadowing the staff at Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, where we were able to conduct intensive contextual research and intercept interviews that gave us a rare insight into the world of inpatient diabetes care.
We put together some prototypes to test whether our approach would engage people and if there was enough buy-in from our main stakeholders. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive and people engaged with the prototypes straight away. We wanted to design a solution that would not only solve the problem, but would create ambassadors for our service, and I really think we've managed to do that. We were really conscious of falling into the app trap, and we didn't want our solution to be technology-led at the expense of the people who relied on the guidelines. We thoroughly investigated every non-digital avenue before it was clear that digital transformation was absolutely the way the project should go. The DIG platform is a big change to the way things have been done up until now. By focusing on incremental growth that starts with small experiments and involves users every step of the way, we feel that the whole organization will feel confident that their investment, whether it be time or money, will be well spent on a solution that helps to make everyone's lives a bit easier.